All right. We're on, Scott. You got some great looking stuff. I instantly recognized, of course, I'm a big fan of Mike Hoffman and have
Yep.
bought many of his Kickstarter projects. By the way, Scott, do you want to be sideways?
I was just looking and I was trying to figure out if I've done something weird here.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
That's less weird.
Sorry, that was my
But I
phone.
mean, it showed all
It
the
was,
information.
yeah, the psychopaths loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, so I recently got $200 worth of Amazon credit,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I have a credit card. I have an Amazon card, and I get credit when I buy stuff on Amazon. So I ended up with just short of $300 in Amazon money to spend. So I've been going through my wish list, and one of the things I wanted to get was this Mike Hoffman book.
Uh-huh.
I discovered Mike Hoffman through social media. He does paintings, but he does these pen and ink drawings.
Hmm.
But he kind of gets a rap for being kind of a Frazetta clone, and I mean, I don't. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, part of it is his subject matter. Um, this doesn't, to me, this doesn't really. I don't look at that and go, "That's a Frazetta," but I go, "Boy, it's a guy that studied a lot of Frazetta, which I
Yeah.
don't have a problem with." Anyway, so I picked this up. Um, and it's just it's called 300 science fiction or fantasy and science fiction ink drawings by Mike Hoffman.
Hmm.
I believe I paid $25 for this. It's probably the same price you can get it on his webpage for,
Oh,
but I think he signs on his webpage. But I have Amazon credit, not MikeHoffman.com credit.
right.
So I got it. It was something because I mean $300 is a lot of money to spend on Amazon. And my wife is like, "You get what you want," because I got the credit
No,
myself.
that guy's
So
just fantastic to study. I mean, you like you say the Frazetta's there.
oh,
I mean, the
there's your
spot.
guy,
This,
man,
I mean,
Magnus,
damn, and he's also using a what do you call it? Chop
the karate chop.
a ridge
Oh,
hand.
the knife hand chop,
Yeah, knife
knife
hand,
hand.
just like
Yeah,
mine. How odd! How
yeah.
incredible! It's
But
synchronicity at its best.
anyway, I would classify this guy as an artist that I like, but I don't want to draw like him necessarily.
Hmm.
But there are definitely elements in his stuff that I mean his women are all really cool looking.
He's always
His
informed by the idea he ought to strive to get the Frazetta composition,
yeah.
strength, and the appeal, and
I tell you
it's
what,
there.
if an artist said I want to draw sketches or ink drawings and sell them as like commissions, I think you'd be worse to do than to emulate this guy. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah,
think I feel like, and I don't know this, but to me, he seems like a guy. If he had enough of a social media following, he could do one of these a day and sell them for
yeah.
not a ton of money maybe, but
He
you
strikes me
know,
as a guy that is just a little standoffish with everything that social media implies, and
yeah, yeah, he kind
he's
of
never his YouTube. He shows off his personality a little bit, and he likes to you know kind of semi press the flesh and talk to people out there as fans, but I think he's really just got a super indie streak in him that keeps him
yeah.
from really getting as big as he could be.
Well, and I think a lot of people will always hold a grudge against him because they say, well, he's a Frazetta knockoff. But I mean, it's like, if it's that easy, then you do it.
You do
You
it,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the
You
thing.
make
It's like,
everybody say, "Hey, that looks like Frazetta" every time you draw something.
it's like you're aping Frazetta, which, I mean, and again, I, I tell you, the book that I compared this to was I have the Hellboy or Mike Mignola pandemic sketchbook. And during the pandemic, Mike Mignola, when he was stuck in his house, did the same kind of thing.
Hmm.
He did an ink drawing every day, and he sold them for some kind of charity. Gave the money to charity,
Yeah.
but he basically kept himself occupied because he said every night he would be planning, what am I going to draw tomorrow? And
Hmm.
it was kind of similar to this kind of stuff, either little vignettes or characters. You know, and you can tell that book of his, it's a little better quality than this. I think this is a print on demand actually.
Sure, probably.
But this is cool. I mean, it was like $25, and you know, I dig it. Anyway, I know you're a big fan of his, so I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, cool.
And then I got something else that you probably won't care about, Ellis.
Well, let's see. You got some anime kind of proportion stuff.
This is okay. This is anatomy books by this guy. I believe he's Korean, maybe. I think that's Korean. I never heard of the guy. I don't even know how I stumbled across this, but he's got kind of a YouTube presence. It's all in Korean, but he released this book, and it's in English and Korean, and it's just an anatomy book. But what really, and it's 2 books. It's kind of weird. It's 2 books kind of shrink wrapped together, and he's got a third one out, but these 2 books were $75, but on Amazon, every time I looked, the price was lower and lower. And so finally I was like, well, this is a sign that I've got to buy this book. What I like about him is how he simplifies the figure.
Yes.
You know, and that's what I'll study this for. Especially like the stuff on the back. I'm a little weak on my backs, I'll be honest. I shouldn't be honest, but I'll be honest. And so that I liked how he did that. His simplification of the figure I like, and I knew he had some forearm stuff in here, which is something everybody struggles with. And I liked it. I'll tell you what I liked.
No, every page you switched to, I was informed, and I thought, yeah, there's some gestural stuff. Yeah, no, all that
I like
is
how he does his shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have talked about shoulders, and I struggled with shoulders. I think I'm starting to get a handle on shoulders, but I was copying some of his stuff in my sketchbooks before I bought the book, and I'd kind of said, I'm not gonna buy it. And then like last time I went, it was down to like $29, and I thought, well, you know, I believe in signs, and I felt like maybe that was like a sign that I need to get this book. I think this one is all heads. If I interpreted the scan through, I saw. Well, yeah, this is head stuff, I believe.
It's nothing more difficult than being able to whip out a good head. Yeah.
There's some anatomy back here.
Oh yeah.
Looks like legs. Maybe there's no legs in the first. Maybe it actually is just a continuation.
Legs, feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I got that. That came in the mail today, and I literally
that cost you $60. Those 2 books.
Yeah.
About that.
Probably with tax. This was like 29 or 27, something like that, and the other one was 25. So yeah. But I mean,
I bet you people that see those books being flipped through on this, if they're people that create the figure, they're probably going to dig it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, holy crap, another anatomy book.
Yeah.
But
like you say, every now and then someone steps out and shows you how to do it right. I mean, that is the perfect way to convey that information.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good, like I said, I copied some of it, but just based on like images I saw online on Pinterest and that sort of thing. And I was like, okay, this is, you know, something, this is something that I could, you know, kind of dig into. Speaking of digging into, I'm busy all of a sudden, dude.
What are you up to?
Oh, Dan sent me a script for 8 pages for a Antarctic Press Christmas book. But the thing is I gotta have the pages done by August 1st. So it's like you better get on the stick.
Yeah, that's a real deadline there.
Are we live?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've got a big I've got a big red button that says "in broadcast," which would imply that we've got a broadcast.
I was looking. Oh, sorry.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, that no, that was my TV talking.
Okay.
Anyway, so So I got a script from him. What was tomorrow? What was tomorrow? What was yesterday? Tuesday. I got a script from him. I drew thumbnails, 8 pages. I got them done yesterday. I had to go to the city council meeting with my mother, land stuff, and I started drawing. I finished up the thumbnails yesterday afternoon, and last night I drew the first 2 pages. I don't know if you can see this. This is my rough. Well, this is my layouts. This is page
Mm-hmm.
2, so that's kind of the detail I got in my layouts. And now I'm going through. I'm gonna finish these 2 pages, scan them, and send to the inker, and then work on the. I'm hoping to get these done. Both of these done by tomorrow.
Cool.
At some point, early tomorrow. Not early, but I gotta go work. But I mean, where I can send them to the inker and get them going, because we gotta. But the thing is, the deadline is so short. So I think we're kind of, if we can get it done, I think we're kind of a shoe-in on the deal. Because I can't imagine that a lot of people could just drop everything and do like, oh yeah, I'll do, and certainly not 8 pages. You know.
Oh, you mean it's that there's a kind of an if that goes with it, that you might not be accepted or something?
Nothing is a thing until it's a thing, Ellis.
Okay.
Yes, there is an if. We might. We're not. But I think. So the character is a character called Tomorrow Girl, and I did a drawing, and Dan and I have talked about Tomorrow Girl as something that we could do something with, and it's the Tomorrow Girl Christmas special or whatever it's called. But it's put out by Antarctic Press. Ben Dunn created Tomorrow Girl, owns Antarctic Press, or co-owner, I guess, with his brother. And so I did a drawing of Tomorrow Girl, kind of in my style.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben liked it and reposted it. Because my thought was, man, I wonder if he's even going to like, because Antarctic Press mostly does manga style stuff or anime style or whatever, and I don't draw that way. I don't, no offense to anybody, I don't really want, it's not my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I was like, okay, but I think, and I've reached out to Antarctic about working on something. They've been in the past, long time ago, and they're like, well, you don't draw like we like, we do. But Dan feels like they've kind of softened that stance a little bit over the years. And like I said, Ben liked my Tomorrow Girl drawing in my style, kind of an aping Jack Kirby kind of, or not Jack Kirby, John Byrne kind of style, enough to where he shared it. So, maybe,
Very cool. Well, I hope it catches fire. But you guys are going to have it done, complete, and then entered in hopes that just pushes it right on through. It's like, we got this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Well, and that always helps, I think, to have something done. And then the hope is that if we do this, it'll give them a push for our book, to maybe use our book either as Tomorrow Girl as like a backup or something, so that we can, that Antarctic Press will publish it. That's kind of the,
I'm gonna. Is she how far? How long ago does she date Tomorrow Girl? What era?
Not past the 90s, maybe. I don't know when he worked on her first. If Dan's on, he can listen. He might know so
it is an anime thing. Okay.
Well, it's a modern character.
Okay.
But he created it. It's not like a character from the 50s or anything.
Yeah.
Even though I'm kind of treating her, the way I'm drawing her, kind of like, I think I showed you that book I had of the 50s, or I think it's early 60s Supergirl stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a good era to tap into.
Yeah, I think there's some similarities. Certainly, I don't know if that's intentional on on the creator's part, on Ben Dunn's part.
I'm looking at it. It looks very, airbrushy rendered and all that. Kickstarter, Tomorrow Girl, The Early Years, Volume 2 is one of my first links, but I have no idea. Anyway.
What era it is.
Yeah. But Ben Dunn, huh?
Ben Dunn, yes. Do you know who Ben Dunn is?
Is that a professional name, do you think?
No, I think it's his real name.
Okay.
I've met him. He's Antarctic Press is out of Dallas.
Okay.
And so I've seen Ben at like Texas conventions. Somewhere, I think at one point he gave me like a little sketchbook that he made for a con. It was like just a couple pages, like a little Kinko's kind of deal.
Uh-huh.
I think he did a little doodle in the front of it for me.
Okay.
I need to find that. I don't know where that's at.
Oh man, we talked about. I couldn't find that weirdo drag strip book of mine, and where do these things go?
I don't know.
How do I hide stuff like that from myself? I mean, it ought to go where everything goes. Well, what was I thinking when I mislaid it?
Nothing goes to the right place around here, man.
Yeah.
It's all fodder and Anyway, so I was off yesterday. I went back to work today. Holy cow! What's funny is I was telling my wife. So I've been told that I can't draw anymore at work. I mean, not that I'm not allowed to, but it's like you have other things to do. You need to let other people draw stuff, and you work on being a boss, I guess. And so I went through this kind of almost like a, well, crap. Now what do I? This feeling of like when I was leaving work today, it's like, yeah, I'm used to. You go to work, you sit down, you draw stuff. And then when you're done, here's what I've done, these drawings.
Yeah, I got something to show for it.
Golly, yeah. And I thought, oh man, just kind of having not been at work for 5 days, just kind of the thought of, man, what am I doing at work? What I'm saying. And then I went to work and it's just like got hammered. I'm like, oh God, this is what I'm doing. No one can seem to get anything done without emailing me or talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is tough. I always kind of was the kind of guy that did like to retreat into his cubicle and do my stuff from my little space.
Yeah, that unfortunately is not me. I see the appeal of that. I really do. But I mean, I like working with artists, and I mean. And I let's be frank. I like telling other people what to do. That's kind of nice too. I know maybe a little bit of bossy streak in me.
You see, I thought it read. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Doug sent me this weird message. Erie number 15. He thought it's weird here. Synchronicity. It's been a long time with no communication with Doug. I haven't been on Twitter. So now he's got a direct mail link to me. And one of my supports for Hoffman showed up on Twitter his EYRIE magazine was something I just supported. And I had no idea what Doug was referring to. Is Erie magazine number 15 for a reason? I remember Creepy and Erie as a kid. And so he just totally mixed up about that. And so I told him I had no idea what he was talking about. And then he realizes it was about, I was responding to this tweet by you. I thought Erie, not Irie, however you pronounce that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and that Hoffman's kind of like that. He's kind of cutesy about some of his.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's obviously that's exactly what he's channeling. So sure. Why not be on the?
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, who cares? I mean,
yeah.
You're the
no, like you said, the big point is everybody that wants to have everybody say you look like Frazetta, uh, feel free to try it. There's nobody going to say, wow, that guy has got his dressmanship and his notions of appeal dialed in so much that I can't help but think of Frazetta when I look at it. You know,
Yeah, I mean
that's not happening for the average artist.
nope. No, I mean, and I mean to me, artists tend to be kind of sponges.
Mhm.
And
Oh
so
yeah, no,
to me, there's something about a guy that is like, this is what I like, this is what I'm gonna draw, this is
hmm No, he picked the right guy to aspire to be. Yeah,
yeah, no doubt, man.
it's just like
Well,
I mean, the very first thing Frazetta stuck out on Ace paperbacks was ripped directly from, Hal Foster.
oh, Hal Foster.
Yeah, the pose of Tarzan leaning out and
Oh yeah,
looking into a canyon. It's like, wow, cool. But I can show you that Hal Foster image. Just everything, pose, everything. Arm hanging down naturally, letting gravity take it. That's another thing about Frazetta. Frazetta was always like, let's see, what could a human being do in this situation with gravity working on them? And
yeah,
and you always knew that it was something that Frazetta's physical brain was working out for himself. That it just looked right.
yeah. Even when it was wrong, it looked
Oh
right.
yeah, well, yeah. People give him a little bit of grief about
Oh god.
his proportions here. Obviously, nobody's got calves. I know people that the only way you get calves like a Frazetta calf is to be a marathon jogger and you're a toe lander. If you land on your toes as a jogger, you might develop those calves.
Is that what that's a Conan got them thought or them
Yeah,
calves.
it's like the wheel of woe or whatever that gave him his upper body in the movie.
Yeah. The Will
What
of Woe.
what they call that? Was it called
I forget
the
what
Wheel of Woe?
Will of Woe.
Something
is
like
good.
that.
I'm good with Will of Woe. Just don't make me say it 3 times fast.
Yeah, Wheel of Woe.
Will of Woe.
Yeah, and I guess the whole idea is that you're on that until you drop dead, or the only reason
Escape.
escape. The only reason Conan made it out was someone come along and bought him. Hey, that guy will look good in the pit. He's big.
Yeah. Yeah, he would draw
That was good.
crowd.
That was good mythology, and I don't think that had anything to do with Robert E. Howard. Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I
I think
don't know.
that was strictly our madman guy that wrote Apocalypse Now, helped write it, or whatever he did to it. He wrote Red Dawn, directed it. What's his name? It's almost coming to me.
It's not Milius, is it?
Yes, Milius.
Milius.
Yeah, John Milius. Yep, crazy man, but
God,
crazy genius. Crazy.
A guy up in Princeton. He made an older guy. He made an observation about something, and he said, my brain is like a magic 8-ball, and once in a while the right answer comes up.
That's right.
And I
Yeah,
thought,
float
God,
up.
the same way, man.
Floats right up. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you, we played trivia while we were up there, and one of the categories was surfing. And, we were at a bar, and and I don't know anything about surfing. And one of them was like, most winning all-time skater or surfer who's still active, da 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 da. And nobody knew at the table. And I said, this may be crazy. I said, for some reason, I'm thinking the name Kelly Slater. I said, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it's wrong. That's just, and it was right. And it's like, holy cow. It's like, hey, man.
It was in there, though. That's
it was
good.
in
That's
there,
good
yeah.
retrieval.
Well, I read a lot, and so and it's not all, useful stuff, and it's certainly not all entertaining. But I don't know. I don't know if they made a video game or something that stuck with me about that, but something about that name.
That,
maybe
that can
maybe I
happen.
saw
Yeah.
on Ridiculousness. I don't know, man. But it was just the only surfer I could think of. And
I had a thing occur to me about center of gravity on motorcycles. That the center of gravity, I guess, is always going to be right under your hips in a motorcycle, because if you're ever going to
not straight under your hips.
Well, if you're ever going to want to feel like you're one with your motorcycle for racing it around, you're going to want to feel like it's coming right out of your hips.
Well, okay, it might come out of your hips, but if you lean, okay, yeah, no, you know what? You're right. It's from your hips to gravity. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so that's real. I mean, yeah, and that's where you'd want to, if you stuck a stick through a pole, you'd want that to be kind of like the big pivot point, right? And so it's like,
I was thinking
and
about
realizing
that
I'm drawing. Nobody can see what I'm drawing.
Drawing in pencil. Motorcycles, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm drawing the gesture of where that would be, and so if you draw the top of the wheel right about where the hips would hit, that's probably also right. That those wheels probably, and then the proportion of what goes on from that point is probably correct. I've got that wheel there too far back and all that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I can see that being a quick way to, work out your proportions real quickly on your motorcycle.
On a motorcycle.
Yeah.
What's helped me on motorcycles, because I've drawn a lot of motorcycles over the years for different things, and what always helped me was the fact of figuring out what all the stuff was,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that what you're.
Yeah, I kind of know what I'm looking at. Now there's little bits, but I'm fairly mechanically minded. I don't want to say I'm like but I understand what I mean. I understand engines. I was kind of a car guy as a kid. I was always poor, so I never had like a really nice car or hot rod or anything. But I always liked cars. And I have a book that I bought recently, but I read it out of the school library that is called like The Design and Tuning of Competition Engines. This is when I was 16, and it's a lot of the information is probably outdated now. I don't think it's got much about fuel injection, and certainly not modern fuel injection, because this is probably written in the 70s. But it just talks about the different parts of a car and basically how you would, if you were making a racing car, what you would do to make that part more efficient, I mean, it talks about superchargers and like gearing on it's a cool book. But I read it when I was a kid. It really stuck with me. And so as an adult, I found it online. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I ever read this, but I kind of want it,
Yeah. Did of course, Jay Leno those things are always fun to watch, his channel and all that. But I learned that I wonder if this kid is kind of in many ways his best buddy in the world. I don't know, since they obviously share this passion. And Tim Allen is as big a freak on cars and stuff as Leno is. And Leno gave him a challenge of sticking him in cars where he's completely blindfolded and everything, and then drove him around, and then he had to ID the car.
Oh, jeez.
The era and all that, and by golly, that guy nailed all three of them.
Was it Leno or Tim Allen that did
it? Tim Allen.
Oh, Tim Allen could identify him.
Yes, he's just big a freak on cars as Leno is.
Oh, well, if I was loaded, I would.
Well, that's the deal. Yeah, what do you spend your money on? Yeah. You either do have you gotta say, life is passing by, and big old, all you have to do is look around and look at the old Norm Macdonald show, and everybody that was on it, including Norm, is dead. That should tell you, get it done if you want to do anything. And it's like, okay. I don't know why I had that dark thought.
Well,
it's an interesting thought.
I think about that as a guy that probably stresses out about work too much. You know, it's like somebody asked me the other day, "Are you going to work? Are you going to do this when you're 75?" And I don't know if I'm going to do this when I'm 57. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, at least you're getting out for you know, what do you call it? Enjoyment time. Yeah.
Oh, vacations. Yeah. I am not. I can. Oh, yeah. No. I have 100 hours of vacation I got to take between now and the end of the year, and my ass is taking it.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
You know. Oh, dude.
Some people couldn't make themselves do it. You know.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I'll do it, and then my boss will go, "Well, while you're gone, you got to check your emails," which I'm hourly, so and I think he's just waiting until my next vacation to make me salary, but I'm which is a big deal in my work, but I'm hourly, and I clock in, man. I'll clock in and check emails, and you know, I'm not checking my email for free, and they don't expect me to either, you know, to their credit.
Yeah, no, that is good that they. It does sound like down the line, you guys have got a system worked out for this is the role of an employee and et cetera, that not a lot of places that they would expect a little slack here or there or a little extra. And you sounds like your job is very good at not doing that, stepping over.
You mean like making me do stuff that I'm not really supposed to be doing, or like
not
getting paid? No, they're real good. I mean, in fact, when we went to New York, I clocked in, and when I came back, my boss was like, "Do I need to add any time to this?" I was like, "No, I'm good with it." I mean, there were a couple days where I spent a little bit of time on the phone that I wasn't clocked in. You know, somebody called me because I was very clear, like, "Hey." And some of my employees were kind of mad. They were like, "You can't even go on vacation." I'm like, "Well, it makes my life so much easier when I come back." And you know, my boss was straight up. He's like, "Look, you're important enough to the company that you can't just disappear for 12 days or however long I was gone." And I was fine with that. I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, to me, it was kind of a compliment. You know, we own you. No. Well, I mean, if you're going to work, might as well try and do a good job. That's my, why work and be just a slub, or whatever. I mean,
no. I mean, the only way that games, etc., get put out is by some sort of core group that ultimately digs in and takes pride in it.
I think that's true.
Any game that has a big fall off in people that are. Had it with the thing, and believe me, you can have it pretty completely in terms of the crunch on a game. And if it comes out at all, it will have been because somebody had enough pride in it that they had to see it through.
I don't think a lot gets done in this country without somebody at some of these jobs. Which is amazing considering some of the crap that companies put out and do and whatever. But somebody at that company has to be like, I'm working my hardest here. You know?
like Ocean Gate. No, that's just pretty awful. That was when you think about a way to die, crushing debt that in microseconds that just squeezes every bit of bubble out of your living tissue just instantly. Man, what a way. Of course, you wouldn't, your nerves going to your brain for pain, wouldn't even register it. Just ploop. The end. Be like being squished by, in a windshield, like a bug. You're done.
Oh, yeah. Those people died before they knew what hit them.
Yep.
I think. I mean,
You
there
never
may
know.
have been warning lights and
Yeah,
stuff.
it may
They
have
may have been
been.
like, "Oh my God,
It may have
we're
been
out of
It
control."
may have been the worst horror ever experienced by mankind. Listened to it creak before it finally gave out. Yeah.
What?
What the hell?
Well, and
Let's go up. Let's go up. All this.
yeah.
Lots of wrestling matches. I shouldn't be laughing at all this.
No.
Yeah.
Hold him. He's gonna get us all killed.
He's going to get us all killed. Yeah. You never know. Someone may have had some sort of fit while they were down there.
Yeah, oh, I would have been. Like, holy crap, we're gonna die. I wouldn't. I don't. Here's the thing. My wife and I were driving, and we saw a hot air balloon. She goes, "Oh, it's a hot air balloon." And I go,
man.
"You know what? I'm never going up in a hot air balloon."
It can be a quick way to die. Yep.
Well, except you're falling 300 feet.
Yeah,
quick.
Yeah, that's not quick. Well,
When you hit
and plus people survive them too. Yeah, they do. They do survive that drop every now and then.
This is what I told my wife. I said, "Man, per trip or capita or however you want to think about it, but hot air balloons are like the most dangerous way to travel.
Yeah,
I'm not getting in you're not getting me in a hot air balloon. You get good luck. You enjoy it."
Putting all that flaming gas heat into that filmy, silky fabric.
They go down all the time.
Yeah.
And there's not. I mean, once that bag deflates, there's nothing you can do.
Oh yeah, you're done.
And I get it. Hey, a plane's the same thing, but planes are, by comparison, are safe as could be.
Yeah. Oh, they spend so much on every little nut and bolt of that thing, checking them. Yep.
Yeah, you don't know what's
whereas
going
a gas bag.
Yeah, you don't know what they.
Yeah,
sometimes those guys will die because they get drug into power lines and crap.
Right.
You know, how do you control that? You have no control over that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything they do that even involves sailing. They just go up and come down. As far as I know.
I'll tell you what they do.
They're moored typically, right?
No. What they do is they gauge the wind currents.
Uh-huh.
And wind currents are different directions at different levels in the atmosphere. And so they'll go up to catch a wind, and then when they want to go a different direction, they slowly go down, trying to catch a drift. And I don't know if they can predict. I don't know if there's an app where they can tell you which wind is where, but that's what they do is they change elevation to hit different wind currents, which just seems like this side of witchcraft.
Pretty random.
It's like doing a divining rod to find water.
Yeah.
You know, oh my gosh! But
yeah, if there's some way to go up and have and be able to throw out some sort of resistance that pushed you this way or that way, that'd be fine.
Propellers. Even the Hindenburg had propellers.
Yeah.
You know?
Daniel Johnson, I don't know how much he heard of your opening, but Dan Scott was telling me all about you guys hooking up for your little project there. That sounds like cool. Tomorrow Girl. Yeah, I guess what Scott's working on right now.
Cool. Yes, Dan, I'm hard at work. I have. I was going to send you this. I have 2 pages of layouts done. And I don't know if you can see that or not. It's pretty faint, but I'm gonna draw the plan. Dan and anyone else who might be listening is to get both these pages drawn. Hopefully tomorrow. I get off at noon tomorrow, like every other Saturday or Friday, and I'm not doing a podcast tomorrow night, so I'm hoping to get them done tomorrow and get them scanned and get you the first 2 pages so that you can get them to the inker, and then I'll continue on. And so I'm going to kind of do it, I think, in 2-page blocks, just like layout 2, draw 2, finish up 2, just so I'm not just staring at a big block of pages. And so hopefully I'll send you pages 2 at a time. And the goal is to if I can get 3 done this weekend, I'll feel like that'll be, because it's only 8 pages. But I mean, that's 8 pages. Got to get it done.
Oh yeah, hell, that's a lot. That's a lot.
No, no, no. We're no. That's not that many. That's not that many. Yes. Well, it's just it just takes knuckling down and get it done. Yeah.
The weirdest brain thing. Oh, wait a second. Dan said a whole lot of stuff when I was just looking at my drawing. He says, loving the art, Scott. And then he also says, I listened a bit at the beginning. And he says, up to speed. And sounds like a plan. Yeah. I mean, I said something last time about the grave character. I don't know what I was thinking about. I acted like that was some sort of orphan project that never showed up. It was in that comics weekly thing.
Oh, the paper thing. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and I remember at the library pulling that out and telling you how unhappy I was with the way that the art had been treated because it had been spread in proportion.
That's right. I remember that. He
across the page
stretched it or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he stretched it because he changed proportion on me.
Yeah, because you drew all your people fat.
yeah. It's like all of a sudden they got wider, and it's like, well, sheesh, that's not what I wanted. He appreciates the hard work, but you know what? What are you going to do? I was still proud of the work, but it's just like, okay, it's almost like it was just a way to diminish my contribution to it. I don't know. I just felt like, dang.
Yeah,
I wish there was something I could do about this.
I've had something like that happen to me, where they re-inked something of mine and just butchered it. I inked it, and then somebody else came along and just killed it. I'm downstairs, by the way, getting coffee.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But I can hear you.
All right.
My favorite thing that you've done. There are two things of yours that I particularly really like. I liked your Deadpool pages you did.
Mm-hmm. The 2-page sample.
The 2-page thing. I think, didn't you sell those at SoonerCon? I should have bought those.
I may have. Yeah, I think I did.
I think you did, because I remember thinking, God, why didn't I buy those? Anyway, and then what was the story that took place at Film Row, the detective story?
Oh yeah, that was a pretty cool one too.
I thought that came out really good. Was that digital?
I don't think so. I don't think it was purely digital. Yeah, maybe it was. I'll have to look into that again. Be easy enough to find. I'll be able to remember just by looking at it.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Those were two things that you did that I thought were really cool.
And again, it's from our one guy, our patron saint of
dude.
Oklahoma.
I post on Facebook that guy's a hero, man.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City should be glad to have him.
Oh yeah, I mean he's taking his money from ghost tours and giving it to us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's cool, but even beyond that, I mean, just the books he writes about the history of the area and the haunted history and stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to go on one of his ghost tours. Yeah. I need to do that. I mean, are we
going to use his name at any point? Because you know me.
Jeff Provine.
Jeff Provine. I've already forgotten it again.
He's written a bunch of books about Oklahoma City, and he's a what's he teach down in Norman? It's like an English kind of class or something.
Yeah, he taught a comic book class. He had me show up at it, and I wish I'd never got close to it because I'm just such a bad public speaker. It was one of those things like, why am
You're
I
a Toastmaster. What are you talking about?
I was in Toastmasters, which taught me just how much work I needed. Yeah.
Yeah. You better shape up, Ellis.
I need to do something, I guess. This is basically...
Is this Toastmasters for you?
This is Toastmasters for me, yeah. But last week, I was listening to, I eventually listened to all of our thing last week. And toward the end, I was having my throat thing again with the throat that needs clearing. And it's like, oh my God, I can't even stand to listen to that.
Who's this guy over there coughing up a lung?
Yeah, I've had artists that took forever to do 1 or 2 pages. That's true.
Who said
I
that?
mean,
Dan?
this is hard work. Yeah. And then you are knocking these out and
guys
they
are
look amazing. Yeah.
These guys are slackers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. Dan is cool. I've talked. I feel bad because I've talked to Dan on the phone multiple times, and I always enjoy talking to him, and I always keep him on the phone for way too long. And I get off and go, God, he's probably got other things he needs to do. But I mean, I hope that. My hope is that this. I mean, I have no illusions about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make all this money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that this does well enough that we can at least justify not this, but the Black Cricket, which is what we're working on, our kind of thing, or his thing, I guess.
Yeah. To
I
be able
hope
to
it does
strike
well
out
enough.
into your own
Yeah.
little thing. Yeah, that's
Well,
always the ideal.
I would love for this to evolve into some kind of relationship with the Antarctic Press, because I think a lot of Antarctic Press, and I like their work. I like this. I think that Ben is kind of. I think he's. Oh, I hate to use the word old school, but I think he's old school enough that he kind of has the same appreciation for the same kind of stuff that I do, and I think Dan does. So I would love to be associated with them. Plus, like I said, they're in Dallas, so it'd be cool to be, work with a publisher that was close. So maybe you could be like, hey, let's go do this convention or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know if it was you. I always admired, Richard Jenkins. Do you know Richard Jenkins?
You told me about him in
Sky.
that
Yeah,
Sky.
we were talking about last week, weren't we?
Yeah.
I always thought it was cool because he'd go out to San Diego, and he didn't.
Speaking of San Diego, is that going on right now, or how close is it?
Quick.
Yeah.
Pretty quick, man. And again, not that I'm, I don't know. I just like making comics, and what's cool is, Dan. I mean, so. And I've tried to express this to Dan, and I don't know if he gets it, or I don't know if I explained it very well. But it's like, for a long time, I drew. Well, okay, so here's an example.
Let's see.
So this is a sample.
That'd make a great coloring book thing.
Dude, this is a sample. This is literally a handout. I took these pages when I went to New York City one time to visit Marvel. And I was trying my best to do like a Marvel kind of style with this. And everybody was like, oh, they kept telling me to change my style. And there are issues with this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, but I got pushed into being more kind of a different style than what I liked, and trying to do different things. And it's like, why did I ever do that? And even on Heaven's Rejects, is like, well, you should draw. Occasionally the writer would send me little things about, well, here's this. You should make this girl look more like this or this. And it kind of bugged me.
Well, you know what? From looking at I'm sorry. Were you done with your point? Because I was going to go off in a little bit of a drift.
Well, I was just going to say
what you were saying.
I like that Dan is like, you just draw how you want to draw.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the way to collaborate. Yeah. I mean, look for. It's like every story I hear about an actor, or a director they liked. At some point or other, there may have been some insecurity on the actor's part or whatever, and that the director at some point or other said, look, you do what you do. That's why you're here. You have already been selected from dozens of people, and whatever you do, it's what you do. And it's, it's like, get out there and have a good time with it. And it's like when you get to somebody like that is saying, let's work, let's both do what we do,
Oh Yep.
You know, that's the way to be.
I believe so. Anyway, I appreciate Dan's attitude like that.
Hmm. But what was I going to say?
No, no.
I forgot. Yeah, I was on a. What did I say? I was drifting into something, and we were talking about collaboration and blah blah dee 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 da da. I have no idea what I was going to say.
Shake the 8 ball.
Yep. Yeah. Check the 8 ball.
So what'd you do today, Ellis?
Well,
Since
I
it
went.
rained in the morning.
Oh man, it knocked my power out early in the morning, and I
Oh,
thought,
you're
oh,
kidding.
is that going to be my day? No, no electricity. Would have knocked this in the head really, really
Yep.
firmly and completely. But no, it came back on after a couple hours. It was a good lightning strike somewhere. Sounded pretty close, and kaboom! All of a sudden, the fan winds down. It was at dawn though, so it wasn't pitch black. I had one the other, and again, it was no, it was fireworks this time. I think was the culprit. I don't know who was doing what around here, but somebody got into the lines in some way, and the power went off, surged off, and it didn't stay off very long this time. Seconds, but it was pitch black when that happened. that freaks
Oh,
you.
yeah.
That freaks you
Yeah.
out. It was like, oh my God, it's like I'm in the middle of a
I've gone
cave
blind.
here. Yeah.
Oh man, I used to hate that when I was a kid. We'd go to caves and they always did here's what it's really like in the pumpkin cave.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like,
And
no,
you realize, oh my God, this would be a nightmare on earth to ever have
this
to
is
experience
what
this.
hell is like. I'll
Yeah.
be good. I'll be good. Yeah, I hated that part of the cave tours. Yeah.
Have you been to the big one? Whatchamacallit? The national park with the bats? What's that called?
Mammoth Cave?
No, the Carlsbad.
No.
Oh, you haven't been to Carlsbad? That's a pretty groovy place. I've been there.
I'm not a national parks guy, even though we did go to Yellowstone a few years ago. That was with the in-laws.
It's probably a good survival thing not to be a national parks guy. It sounds like these bears are getting out of control. In terms of like saying,
crap.
saying like, hey, you're smaller than me. I can eat you.
Yeah, I'm surprised bears don't eat us all the time.
Yeah.
I saw a bear in my in-laws' neighborhood one time. I was walking the dog. I was like, holy crap, there's a bear.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going back inside. I don't think it was a dangerous bear,
But
but they're all dangerous.
They had a recent guy that was killed by a black bear, and they aren't often associated with,
Yeah. Fatalities.
Kevin S. Halter says, wow,
Yes.
they do look great. I always have a lot of fun watching other artists work.
Kevin's the inker.
Oh, cool.
think.
Very cool. Groovy.
That's cool. I didn't know Kevin was a...
Yeah, I knew, when, Mike Miller, who's, still pretty famous with, he likes to stay mixed up with his comics gate nemesises. He's always back and forth with them on Twitter. And
God.
you gotta assume he's kind of enjoying it. He always likes saying, "Okay, you're doing this, and this is why you're idiots," and then people get right back to him about what an idiot he is. But of course, Miller has always had that talent. He's always been able to be the penciler if he felt like it. But when I knew him in that studio, he and just everybody were working as inkers, Mike Christian, and because they could do work that was paying the same amount of money and do twice as much of it.
Oh yeah, they were faster at inking.
Yeah, they were early on. They were a big deal for that Malibu comics during that era.
Oh yeah, that's when Malibu was big. I was reading some Malibu books back then.
Yeah, I mean, they
I
had
think
some
they
pretty
had
cool
with not
groovy titles.
Elementals. What was the book they had? They had some book I was
Yeah,
reading.
that was one of them that came through our door. I think the Elementals came through our door at one point
No,
or other.
They were Comico.
Oh, were they? Comico?
I believe so. But maybe they were both.
I'm not sure. Well, it sounded familiar.
Yeah. Well, it was a big deal back then.
I wish whatever I was going to say was would come back to me, but it's not going
I
to.
do
So.
too. Oh, well.
Yeah, because I've got a pretty good Hulk going here. I was going to have him hoisting something, but that's
Well, that
going to
is a
be.
nice looking Hulk.
So, there was a guy that was I guess he's a world famous, and I remembered the name when they had it chironed onto the thing. I said, "Oh yeah, that guy. He dates back to the day of Pumping Iron with Arnold and all that." And I guess he was considered a little bit of an innovator. But his whole thing now, and it's something I dig too. It's something that I would probably spend a lot of time getting good at if I was young. And it's the animal movement, or the what else do they call that?
I don't
It's
know.
it's like yoga basically.
Is it like
It's
crane
just
kick? Is it Tai Chi?
no, it's just doing a hip switch, and it's basically the kind of drills you have to do in wrestling to get agile. But they're calling it something new, and of course, it's easier on your body than having to get in and wrestle hard to get your body in shape and everything. But it's just animal movement, and you walk along, you crawl, you go hands and foot.
Oh, I've seen those. I've seen guys doing that.
And I do just a little bit of it. I do a crawl down the hall every night that takes me about 30 seconds, and it is good for you.
Watch for it on the Ellis Goodson
I'm not ever
security
gonna.
cam stream.
Oh yeah, that might show up, but I won't be sharing it. I won't be sharing
Ellis
it.
in his boxers
Yeah.
to the animal crawl. Hey, I think I told you my wife and I were in New York. I found on our TV was a smart TV, so on YouTube I found a channel that had a full body stretch that took 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes of full body stretch, and we did that every morning because we were walking so much. I was walking 30 miles a day.
30 miles a day.
Yes, I'm not exaggerating.
Whoa, that's a lot.
We were walking around New York City, man. Wait, was it 30 miles? Maybe 30,000 steps.
I was going to say,
still,
30 miles.
It's like 20 miles, man.
Yeah.
Well, I can't look. I'm recording on my phone. I'd tell you exactly.
How many miles? 30,000 steps.
How many miles? 30,000. It was 30,000. I'd do 30,000. It's a long. I mean.
No, I'm not. I'm not less impressed by that or anything. It's just that 30 miles is one hell of a hike.
I think it was actually about 20 miles, which still is like,
Yeah, but think about what they do to you in the military that gets groans. It's usually a 10-mile hike. We'll get guys saying, "I want out of here. Why am I here anyway?"
I could
That's
do
too much work.
hike with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
I couldn't run it. Don't get me wrong, and I'd want to stretch, but I mean, I do walk a lot. That's one thing, I was telling you about my job. With my job changing, I walk a lot, and up and down stairs.
Well, this is one of those drawings where just not enough has been solved properly to suit me, and I started inking it, and I'm going to go ahead and finish inking it, but it's like the spirit on it that could have made it good has departed.
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm a little bit behind on the feet. Oh God, I got a dog jumping on me.
Dog.
We got a dog.
Yeah, the algorithm has decided I need to know all about pet food, so something has, gotten
I
in.
ratted you out. Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Trying to put the dog on the camera.
Hey, doggy.
She doesn't like it. She doesn't like that. She
doesn't like being inverted.
Being rolled over. No, she doesn't like that.
I wanted to be a.
Okay, you ready to go downstairs? Okay, go. She has to run in here every once in a while just to see what I'm up to. She'll jump in my lap if I don't watch her. What's she doing? She's back in here. Huh. Come here. You gonna get my lap? Come on.
Not if you're gonna flip me over again.
Yeah, exactly. No, she wants to. Can you hear her?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she ran down the hall. Anyway, the stretching was cool. I need to find. That's one thing I miss about not being in Taekwondo is that stretching, man. You know.
It is good for a guy.
Oh, God, especially a guy my age.
Yeah. No. That will bring you back to. I tell you what. I'm just determined to mess this up about 20 different ways.
Well, yeah, I saw a YouTube video and the title was. I think it was a YouTube video, maybe an ad for something, but it was like, "You're not old, you just don't stretch." You know?
Yeah, no. And this guy was talking. He's the big bodybuilder I was telling you about that was an innovator, and he had all kinds of damage from his bodybuilding days, and he detailed some of it. But he said he used the F word in his yoga class while he was learning. And he said the thing that was causing the F word to explode out of him was standing on one foot.
Gosh.
And he's right. That is a lot tougher than you think it is. And so here he is, frustrated with the idea of not even being able to balance on one foot. And of course, that can be quite an exercise to balance on one foot.
Yeah.
But that made me laugh. Says, his yoga instructor saying, F is not a yoga word. And and it's like, okay, it's not. And I'll try to control myself hereafter, but I can see it being a yoga word if you fell over sideways a whole lot of times. I wish I could think of that bodybuilder's name now. But when you could tell that the guy was almost like, even though obviously he'd made all his decisions to get big and massive at one time, you can tell that he's late in life said, "What was it really all about?" kind of attitude. He's got to going through an inventory in his head. It's like, man, what did I think was important about getting so big and so much mass, on me,
It can't be comfortable. Some of those. I mean, I know that it's not like they're like weighted down by it or whatever. I mean, they got it under control, but one of my employees. I'm sorry, one of my team. I've been told I'm supposed to say that. One of my team is he's not really a bodybuilder, but he works out a lot, and he just always kind of seems a little uncomfortable to me. Well, in fact, my supervisor used to be a bodybuilder, and he kind of walks around like he's in a little bit of pain when he walks.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, that's kind of the point, is that you should be, to make gains, you should be healing. But again, this guy made shared some notes from his discoveries that rest was about the only way to get really big. He talks about how he plateaued all the time at one time until he figured out that rest was about the biggest thing you need to do
I'm screwed
to make gains. Yeah.
So you never answered my question about what you did today.
I didn't. Okay.
Well,
Well,
you said your power went out, and we said it really
oh,
stormed.
okay. I got my X. I got writing
There you
and
go.
comic strip done. So I mean, that takes me. I can make it stretch out for 3 hours instead of an hour and a half while I'm working on it easily. I mean,
Sure.
I got my. I got a good couple solid paragraphs out of the novelization as it's coming along, and it's always it's amazes me to see how much I have to dig into something that was a script to turn it into, something that will be acceptable as a book. You know, it's
Oh
it's
yeah. Now
it's
you're
it's fun.
doing.
It's
Are you writing the novelization of your what's it called,
yeah
Locust
yeah
Hole or whatever?
yeah. It used to be called Locust Hole.
Was it
Uh,
Locust Hole? Is that right?
I eventually called it the Locust Bride. The
Oh,
Locust is a town, and
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it's it's going,
Oh,
and
good.
it's yeah, and then of course I did a little essay today on a film director named Robert Klaus who directed. You should know this, Enter the Dragon.
Oh, there you go.
But I wrote an essay that could just basically be called The Unknown Director of a Trilogy, of the Badass Trilogy of the 1970s. Because there was basically a trilogy of films this guy did. He did The Ultimate Warrior with Yul Brynner, and then my favorite, uh, uh, Darker Than Amber, which Bruce Lee saw, which said to him, "This guy is who I want for Enter the Dragon."
Oh,
So Darker Than Amber is the great unseen film. It can't hardly be found. You have to find bootlegs of it.
as I say, I
And
think you gave me a file copy.
I, probably did, but there's fairly nice YouTube videos now. Look for Darker Than Amber, the full fight, and you'll see William Smith and Rod Taylor go at it in many people's judgment, the best fight scene of all time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll send you a direct link to it tonight, or
Yeah, do that.
I'll even add it to our
Yeah, add it to the
linkages
show
here.
notes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the show is at 1 hour 7.
Oh, there you go. Hey, look, I made progress.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You did a lot of work. You kept your head down on
Nose
that
to the
project.
grindstone, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And I
gotta get
did
that
a
X.
bodybuilder Hulk that
That Hulk is cool, man.
he didn't go south.
Hulk is hard. I can
He
never
is hard. No, I got him too. That's a big part of what's wrong with him. His proportions are a little too close to real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could squeeze him as after I
Trouble
scan
with
him.
his head.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah. Give him to Provine. He'll stretch
Yeah.
him out for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Still a hero. Still. That's what I said on Facebook. I posted a link to something I did for Jeff Provine. It came up in my. Oh, thanks, Dan. It came up in my Facebook memories. And that's what I said. Jeff Provine's a hero, man.
Oh yeah. That guy is the most generous. Absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yes, I agree. Very, very generous with his time and abilities
Mm-hmm.
and his money. He's paid a lot of artists to do work for him that I don't think he ever had any intention of ever being able to recover his expenditures.
Yeah. It was just.
It was just something he did.
But you know what? He got to see his IP put into comic book form.
Yeah.
That's one thing he was doing that can be ultimately work out to be smart. It's like,
Yes.
okay, because that is an easier way to pitch stuff, is to see your IP in an easy visual form, and it can be a thing that leads places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Okay, we're gonna let it go.
Yeah, $1.09. I mean $1.09. An hour nine.
Hour 9, man.
Okay. Hey everybody, Dan, Kevin, thanks for showing up.
Thanks for showing up. And like I told, I think Dan was on. I don't know if Kevin was on. My plan is to do these 2 pages. I'll get them sent off to Dan. Hopefully tomorrow by the end of the day, or by bedtime, I should say. Hopefully I'll get them done. If I don't have them done, I'll at least get the first one done. If I don't get them completely done, I'll at least get the first one sent off, so that if Kevin is at the point he can start, he'll be able to start. I know he's got other things he's doing also, but I'm going to try and get him the pages as soon as possible.
Yep. Inkers can be busy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway.
Everybody, see you later.
See ya.